The coastal town of Windmere was the kind of place where the sea was both a blessing and a curse. It fed the people with its fish, filled the air with the scent of salt, and whispered lullabies at night. But it also swallowed ships whole, dragged men into its depths, and sent storms that tore roofs from homes. On one such stormy night, after lightning split the sky and thunder roared like a god's wrath, a young woman was found on the shoreline. She was unconscious, tangled in seaweed, wearing nothing but a tattered silk dress that shimmered faintly even under the moonlight. No one knew her name. When she awoke the next morning, the first thing she saw was a man's face, dark hair dripping from the rain, sea grey eyes watching her carefully. "You are safe," he said. "I pulled you from the waves." She tried to speak, but her throat was raw, her voice barely a whisper. "Who am I?" The man hesitated. "You don't remember?" She shook her head, and just like that, she became Maris, a name he gave her, saying it meant "of the sea." The man was Elias, a fisherman whose family had lived in Windmere for generations. He gave her a place to stay in a small weathered cottage by the cliffs. The townsfolk were wary of her, her strange beauty, the way her hair seemed to glisten when wet, her eyes the color of deep water. But Elias defended her, saying she was just a survivor of a shipwreck. Days passed. She helped mend nets, cooked with Elias, walked along the pier, but every night something strange happened. She would dream of the sea, not the ordinary blue waves she saw from the cliffs, but a kingdom beneath, glowing with coral palaces, voices singing in a language she didn't understand. In the dreams, a crown of pearls rested in her hands, heavy as grief, and then always a voice would call her name, not Maris, but something else, something older. When she awoke, the bedsheets were damp, her hair wet, though she had not left the house. Elias was hiding something. He never let her go near the far end of the harbor. He changed the subject whenever she asked about the storm that had brought her here. And once, when she caught her hand on a fishing hook, he froze, not because of the wound, but because her blood shimmered faintly, like flecks of crushed opal. He told himself it was for her own safety, that if she knew the truth, she would be taken from him. For Elias had seen her before, not on the night of the shipwreck, but years ago, far out at sea. She was not a woman then, but a mermaid, crown gleaming, her tail flashing silver and gold. She had been fleeing, pursued by shadowy figures in the water, and when she vanished beneath the waves, he thought she was gone forever, until the storms brought her back to him. As weeks passed, the dreams grew stronger. Sometimes she woke to find herself standing barefoot at the water's edge, salt dripping from her hands, though she had no memory of leaving the bed. The townsfolk began to whisper, "She is cursed. She is one of them." One evening, as the sun bled into the horizon, an old woman stopped Maris in the market. Her milky white eyes stared through her. She spoke in a rasping voice. "The crown is drowned, child, but the sea remembers its queen." Maris's chest tightened. "What do you mean?" The woman only smiled, showing teeth sharp as shells, and hobbled away. That night, the waves were louder than ever. She stood at the cliff's edge, the wind tearing through her hair, and for the first time she heard it clearly, her real name, Cyrena. Unable to bear the questions any longer, she confronted Elias. "Tell me what you know." He avoided her gaze. "Maris. My name isn't Maris." Her voice broke. "I don't know who I am, but you do. You've always known all along." Elias's jaw tightened. If you go back, you will start a war. Your people, they are not what you think. They've been looking for you, and not to bring you home. Pieces clicked in her mind, the feeling of being haunted, the shadows in her dreams. You're saying I'm a princess, banished for defying the sea king. You gave up the crown to stop the war between your kind and mine. But they cursed you to forget. If you remember everything, the curse breaks, and so does the peace. Her hands trembled. Why didn't you tell me? Because I love you, he said, voice low. And if you remember who you are, you won't choose to stay. The next night, the sea rose again. Black waves clawing at the shore. Figures emerged from the water. Merfolk with eyes like shards of ice, their scales glinting under the lighting. At their center was a tall figure in armor made of bone-white coral. Cyrena, he called, voice carrying over the storm. Your throne awaits. Come, or we will take you by force. Elias stood in front of her, harpoon in hand. She's not going anywhere. But Cyrena, Maris, felt something shift deep inside of her. The crown from her dreams shimmered into being in her hands, dripping sea water. The moment she touched it, her tail unfurled, silver and gold, scales glowing like moonlight. Her memories came flooding back. Her defiance of her father, her exile, the blood spilled in the last battle between land and sea. She saw the cause of her rebellion, and the truth, returning would mean war. But staying meant the sea would never stop coming for her. Elias's hand gripped hers. Stay with me, we'll find another way. The merfolk advanced. The storm roared. Cyrena looked at him, the man who had saved her twice, the man who had lied to protect her. And then, without a word, she stepped forward into the sea. The waves closed around her, swallowing her whole. Elias fell to his knees on the wet sand, the storm fading into a bitter calm. From the cliffs above, the old woman watched, whispering to the wind, the crown is drowned, but not forever.